Welcome to Far From Eden. Today is brought to you by request. You guys have asked me to cover the soft guy era. Drizzle. I see that a lot of times when I'm doing a premiere and I'm in the chat hanging with you guys. You guys will say drizzle, and I'm like, what? I'm actually not on TikTok, so I don't know about these things. So you guys did ask me to cover it. And as I generally do, I like to see what is the corporate press saying about these things, because usually it's just very interesting to see the corporate press's take on these issues that generally run far deeper. And I don't think this one is different. So today, this is coming from Fox News. It is an article written by a woman, Alba Cuevas Fantauzzi. I did my best at pronouncing that name. That's the writer from Fox News. So I thought, well, that's interesting. So let's see. A new trend has emerged on TikTok known as the soft guy era, which advises men to stop being sole providers in their romantic relationships. Quote, the soft guy era movement is about promoting partnership. You're telling me you're a grown woman and you're my woman and you can't put up 50% of the bills? You're broke and lazy, a TikToker who goes by the name Lil Goody said. Quote, we all know being a provider in 2024 is a scam, so we don't care. We're not doing that anymore. We know that's old-fashioned. These women got money. These women are working, so they need to contribute, another influencer named Scarface Mark said. All right. Yeah. I mean, I've watched a lot of Kevin Samuels, and what I see a lot of times is women saying, yeah, I want him to make the money, but I'll still work. They kind of still want to work, but the thing is that they want his money to go to support them and the children and all of that. And their money seems to be like play money. Like they like to have their job. Like they get to play, corporate Barbie or lawyer Barbie or whatever their job is, Barbie. But at the end of the day, when it really counts, what a job is really for is to sustain you, to provide. So you need it for your rent, your mortgage, your food, your transportation, the essentials. And women don't, sounds so stupid. Sorry. Women don't like that if they were to decide to stop working, that might mean you stop having, food and shelter. But guys seem to understand that, yeah, I get to eat because I work. And it's interesting to me that women have been like, yeah, I don't want to have to worry about that. But they also don't want to bring anything to the table to contribute otherwise. The idea of a real housewife, like a real housewife, and what she actually, I'm not talking about the 1950s when there's already like dishwashers and it's, and women start having like maids. And I'm talking about when women taught their own children, schooled their own children, when they actually made healthy meals and they cleaned the house themselves with, that is so far gone. They had a garden that they tended to. So many people, especially millennials and Gen Z, they're so disconnected from a real wife and her actual value. This is where we are. And I don't blame them one bit. I don't blame them one bit. Hey, you want to be strong and independent. You want to be, career Barbie. Well, guess what? You've got to be responsible, Barbie. I'm cracking myself up. I'm sorry. I just started realizing this whole like like when women are in college and they're like so excited about their career they're going to have and they really never have worked before, but they just know they're going to love working and it's going to be all the fulfillment and purpose they ever wanted. And I'm like, uh you're just like planning on being, it's like dress up. And then when they get into it and they're actually working and the years go by and guess what? It's not glamorous and it's not fulfilling because it's not for that. They start to go, I don't really like this. You're not supposed to like it. Anyway, so far I'm like, I don't blame these men at all. Not at all. If you want to be, you know, egalitarian, then be egalitarian. Oh boy. The trend blew up on TikTok earlier this month with Mark and Goody self-proclaiming the label of co-founders for the movement. Their slogan, Drizzle Drizzle, pays homage to an opposing campaign that predates the soft guy era known as Sprinkle Sprinkle. The tagline was created by Letitia Padua, a creator who uses her platform to give women advice on how to get a man to provide for them. I may have taken a peek at that. And how to get a man to provide for them, it's really just how to be manipulative, how to be demanding. It's really nothing becoming of any human being. You're just trying to take advantage of somebody else. You're just trying to be a leech and offer nothing in return. I mean, maybe some bedroom fun type stuff, but you know. While Mark alludes to the focus of the movement to be reorienting men toward finding high quality women, the basis of many of his videos revolve around finances. Yeah, I don't understand how that's like mutually exclusive because I think in their minds, women want to get degrees and have this career and they think it raises their, what is it, SMV, their marketplace value. Well, it looks like the guys are like, okay, fair enough, but that means that you're going to contribute because otherwise, what good is it to me? Funny. It's like we want you to count it when we want you to count it, but we don't want you to count it when we don't want you to count it. Quote, they want us to have money. I want my woman to have money as well, he said in a video. Goody echoed the same sentiment in one of his videos, saying, you want me to pay 100% of the bills while you stay home? Make them weak bleep meals? Do that weak bleep Pilates sessions you do every single day? All while you say, are we sending our kids to private school? How the bleep can we do that? I know. That's the thing. And I've been waiting for this to happen. Not this specific movement, but this whole we're equal, right? Because we all know feminism was, well, hopefully a lot of us know, feminism was really never about being equal. Because if it were, then we would have started being required to be in the draft or something, similar. But we didn't have that requirement. So we had this right, privilege, whatever you want to call voting, but without the sacrifice or without the contribution of being able to be drafted. So it's just, I've been waiting for the equality to come crashing down on them. Oh, you don't want to be a lady? You want to be masculine? You want to be abrasive? You want to be a girl boss? Well, it comes with it. Now, if you want to be demure and you want to be actually submissive and you want to be actually supportive and you really want to provide value to the man by having a lot of babies, by schooling them, you don't need private school if you're homeschooling them. They should be with their mother. They don't need to be taught by strangers in a strange building. Indoctrination, even at private school, you know. Uh, if you're actually providing value, if you give your man peace when he comes home, if he can get home and if he needs to be left alone or quiet, but you're nearby, you get to know him and you offer those things, then you might be privileged enough to be taken care of financially. But you have your job in all of that. And it's not nothing, right? It requires sacrifice from you. If he wants to move to this kind of house or do this kind, you say yes, sir. And there's going to be a lot of women that are like, oh, I would never do that. Fine, fine. Go be 50-50. Have fun. I'm still just getting a kick out of the equality, just smacking you in the face. Some online users interpret the soft guy era to mean that the woman pays for everything, but others see the dynamic with nuance. Ugh, my least favorite word, nuance. The movement focuses on having men prioritize the pursuit of romantic partners that can make an equal or more financial contribution, citing partnership as a center point. But other users, including Goody himself, touch on the reality of needing more than one income per household in today's economy. He continued, I'm paying all of your bills and I'm paying for your lifestyle. How the bleep are we going to send our kids to private school? Okay, he repeated that, but it was worth it. It was worth it. Among the collection of drizzle comments on Goody's video, one user typed, in my culture, there is a saying that goes, one hand can't clap. Two incomes make the dream work. And that's fine. And I understand in the society we're in now and the economy we are in now is very different than even 5 years ago. I totally get it. And it's designed that way. That's what a lot of these, I was going to say younger people, but honestly, I don't think even people my age, mid 40s, even really understand like it wouldn't be like this. The reason you need two incomes is because women got into the workforce and doubled the workforce, especially in the last 40 years with women. And now, I mean, it's expected. It's expected. Women in the workforce. So the workforce is totally doubled now. I mean, it's the full realization of the globalist, elitist, overlords, whatever name you want to call them, their plan. Because when you have more people, more workers, well, the companies hiring now have lots of people to choose from. So the power is in, they've got all the power because it's everybody competing. Well, when there were fewer, when it was just men looking for jobs and a little bit women here and there, the companies had to compete for the men, not the other way around. And so the companies paid. These communists, I swear, they have no idea. They're out there, these communist, feminist people. It's like, you understand why we need two incomes now? Silly. It's because women decided that it was like empowering to go and work. That somehow raising the next generation. There's no power in that. We got to be out in the workforce doing mindless jobs that anybody can do and we can be replaced. That's what they wanted. Now you've got low wages and they've got twice the taxes. With rising costs for everything from groceries to housing expenses, yep, I was saying, many are finding creative ways to stay afloat. Creative ways? According to the Federal Reserve, a 2% inflation rate is most ideal for maximum employment and price stability. All right. according to the Federal Reserve. Well, I'm not going to listen to anything the Federal Reserve is going to say because remember those overlords I was talking about? That's 2% inflation. They would say that. I'm pretty sure I am not an economist. You guys can tell me if I'm off base, but I have a feeling that inflation is probably better for the Federal Reserve. I don't think it's better for us, 2%. I think it's better if we have half the workforce and we have half of us at home raising our own families instead of the state. But I'm just crazy. I'm just one of those Bible thumpers. You can't listen to me. Even though that system really worked for a long time and made much better, more well-adjusted adults and stable families, and reports of happiness were much higher. Like, I'm sure this is better though. What's happening now? I'm sure this is better. Progress, right? There was a time when I believed progress. Like, progress towards what? That's what you got to ask yourself. Progress towards going off a cliff is not good. Current statistics report current inflation to have increased to 3.48% last month after a slight dip in January of this year. TikToker Jojo Scarletta weighed in on rising prices in an interview with Fox News Digital. Well, that's what I do. When I want to know about economics, inflation, and such, I go and I talk to some TikTokers. What I did notice under the Biden administration was that gas, the price of housing, almost everything you could name under the sun went up in cost, he said. Oh, so it's a dude. So Jojo is a dude. Good to know. You don't know these days. Everything you could name under the sun went up in cost, he said. I don't know what they expect the working class, the middle class to do. People who have just one income, how do they expect people to survive? They don't. Ding dong. They don't expect the middle class to survive. I think the middle class, it's just me, and it just seems so obvious that the middle class is disappearing. And it seems to me like it is by design. In America, particularly, because I know we've got friends in all over the world, Australia particularly, UK. Here in America, how do I explain this? People, let me just finish the rest and then I'll go back to that. I'm sorry. It's like one more sentence. They thought, how do they expect people to survive? They thought it was just a joke. They thought it was just satire. It's not satire. This is now a movement, Mark said in another video. Neither of the movement's co-founders responded to Fox News Digital's request to comment. That's funny. They're like, we don't need to talk to you because they're on TikTok. They've got all these followers, and it clearly is a movement. This is speaking to men. They're tired of being treated like workhorses, where just go out and work and give me all of it. And who cares if you're tired or hungry or you want something, forget about it. Because all that matters is my hair, my nails, my vacation, my this, my that, my whatever. And anyway, okay, so back to in America. The middle class used to be the strength of America. We used to have a huge middle class. And Americans, for the longest time, as long as I can remember, love to talk about Congress and the government and how clueless they are, how dumb they are, can't figure out, how to make it work. Oh, they're just so incompetent, right? I don't think that's the case. I think there's probably some dummies, sure. We've got a president that doesn't know where he's going. Like he doesn't know. going. He's reading the teleprompter. Pause. Like, he has no idea. He's clearly not doing that job. He's clearly some form of a figurehead. And I think that that's the case. I was watching a podcast, and it was talking. There were a couple staffers or former staffers from Congress, from our House of Representatives, which is one of our houses of Congress. And they were talking about how there might be a new person that comes into Congress, but the staff is the same. So a lot of times it's the staff behind the person who got elected that's doing the things. And I thought, well, that's interesting. And think of all the bureaucracies that our government has, where those are the things that are happening. They're making almost like laws, like the ATF can just make gun laws out of nowhere, and that's not constitutional. My whole point is that we have sort of somehow, Americans have gotten this idea that, oh, they're just inept. I think that's what we're supposed to think. Tinfoil hat. We're supposed to think that they're inept because incompetent, dumb people aren't scary. You don't fear those people. You don't think of them as tyrants or authoritarian or any of that thing. You just think, oh, they're such idiots. Oh, we just got to get our people in. It doesn't matter because your side gets the people in, my side gets people in, and we just keep moving to the left. We do. We just keep moving to the left, no matter who's in. So, as far as the middle class disappearing, how's the middle class going to survive? How's the lower class going to survive? We have a good welfare system in the United States. Do not be fooled. We have a great welfare system. Medicaid for the poor people in America is the best health care on the face of the earth. I know from experience, it's the best. All medications paid for, all hospital stays paid for, doctor's appointments, specialists paid for, all of it. People like to tell people, oh, the poor are dying in the street because they don't have health care. That's not true. It's not true. The poor have the best health care in the United States. The middle class, on the other hand, do not. But the middle class is the one getting the squeeze. The poor get, oh my God, so much food stamps, so nobody's hungry. That's ridiculous. I don't understand. Food stamps are plentiful. That's like for those of you not in the States, it's like a monthly amount that we get basically on like a card that we can spend at grocery stores. And now they're starting to take them at certain like small like restaurants or even fast food places. So it's the middle class that's dying, and they're not just dying, and it isn't like, oh no, this happened. It was orchestrated. It's being orchestrated, and they want the middle class to be over. So I know I took us on a tangent, I'm sorry, but I like that these men aren't just gonna put up with being used anymore and getting nothing in return. At the end of the day, of course, yes, am I traditional? I hate saying that now though, because 66, the OSU, and I think Glenn Crossing have tried to straighten me out on traditional versus conservative versus, I was like, oh no, because I'm like traditional from before 500 years ago, apparently, because I think the woman should bring value to the table, a lot of value. I think she needs to sacrifice, absolutely. I don't think that anybody just gets soft life. Why? You don't deserve that. Who do you think you are, right? Now, I'm not saying the soft guy, they're not saying they want to be just, taken care of. However, let's think about that, because I have a feeling there's probably, between the lines, I have a feeling there's a little bit where there's probably some that are like, you know what, you be my sugar mama. And I actually think that will be more prevalent in the future. hear me out, because think about it. There's going to be women who are older and they don't want to be alone, right? They don't want to be alone. So say she's 40, whatever, right? She doesn't want to be alone. But she has a job and she doesn't mind working. Let's say there's a dude and he's a little younger. Say he's 30, 32, she's 40. And he's like, well, you know, maybe he grew up with a single mom and he's fine with that kind of boss brat type of a dynamic. And she's like, well, at least I'm not alone. And he's like, she pays my bills. I kill the bugs. I lift the heavy things and take out the trash. I have a feeling that there might be a little wave of that. Lola is breakdancing. Don't you knock over that tripod. So please don't. It's whenever Lola does anything, I have to remember, please like the video if you're enjoying it and share anywhere you think might be beneficial. But oh, Lola, she derailed my brain. It's not difficult to do. But I think that in the future there will be some more sugar mama type situations and some guys that are just like, no, you better bring more to the table than what I can provide for myself. And that is fair, because you guys should get something. You should get more than just something. It's enough taking advantage of men, having men in marriages where if she wants to leave, then she wins cash and prizes, or she can take the kids and all the rest of it. You know, I don't want that happening to you guys anymore. And I don't want you working yourselves to death and not being appreciated for it. And so, hey, I am pro drizzle drizzle. Because, hey, I don't want y'all getting taken advantage of anymore. And if women don't want to step up and be real wives, well, then be the boss brat. You got to share your money. So thanks for encouraging me to cover that. That was fun. Now I won't be so clueless when people are saying drizzle drizzle in the comments. Exciting that we are also on Rumble now. So this video will be on both places. And Rumble has a bunch of my older stuff, and now it will begin having newer stuff, and I will continue to try to upload, the archives so that it has, everything on there. And then eventually we're going to add locals, and also would love to do lives where we are on YouTube and Rumble, and then we will be in the live and end on YouTube and continue on in Rumble. So these are, for me, lofty goals. But look, we already have a camera and the lights, and I'm using my computer. It's a miracle. So miracles can happen. I'm determined, and once I've said it to you guys, now I'm accountable. So it's partly why I do that. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with me on this one. Thank you for encouraging me to cover this. Please let me know of other things that you guys are seeing or hearing around that is interesting. And I want you guys to take care of yourselves and do something that feeds your soul. Know that you're valued, you are important. And I will see you on the next one. Love you guys. Take care.